The last text she ever sent me was 3 words: I love you. And I sent it back. 2 hours later, the police were knocking on my door, telling me my wife was dead. But here's the thing they did not know. Here's the thing nobody knew. I sent that message from her phone. Welcome to Mr. A Stories. Stay close. This one gets dark. Her name was Nadia, and for 6 years she was everything. The kind of woman who laughs at her own jokes before she finishes telling them. The kind who leaves notes in your jacket pocket so you find them weeks later and smile like an idiot on the subway. I loved her the way people only love once, maybe twice if they are lucky, but love does not protect you from what people become. It started small, a name I did not recognize saved in her phone. Late nights she blamed on work, a perfume that was not hers clinging to her scarf. I told myself I was paranoid. I told myself trust is a choice you make every morning. I chose wrong every single day for 8 months. The night I found out, I was not even looking. I was charging her phone because mine was dead, and a message came through. Not a text, a voice note. I pressed play without thinking. I wish I had not. His voice was calm, almost gentle, which made it worse. He said her name the way I used to. He said he could not stop thinking about her. He said their trip to Florence was the best week of his life. Florence. The trip she told me was a work conference. The trip I helped her pack for. The trip I kissed her goodbye at the airport for. I sat on the kitchen floor for what felt like hours. I did not cry. I did not scream. Something in me just went very, very quiet. She came home that night at 11. I was sitting at the table in the dark. She turned on the light and saw me, and I watched her face go through 3 emotions in under a second: surprise, then guilt, then something that looked almost like relief, like she had been waiting for this moment. We talked until 4 in the morning. She cried. I did not. She said it meant nothing. I said nothing means nothing. She said she wanted to fix it. I said some things do not get fixed. They just get buried. She went to sleep in the guest room. I sat in our bed, staring at the ceiling, and something cold and final settled over me like a second skin. The next morning she was gone before I woke up. She left a note. It said she needed a few days to think. It said she loved me. It said she was sorry. I folded the note very carefully and put it in my pocket. 3 days passed. She texted. I replied. Short, polite, nothing that gave anything away. On the 4th day, she asked if we could meet for dinner. I said yes. I picked the restaurant, a quiet place by the water, the kind with low lighting and no crowds. She arrived in the blue dress I always loved. She looked nervous and hopeful and heartbreakingly beautiful. We ordered wine. We talked like 2 people carefully stepping around a fire neither of them wants to acknowledge. At some point, she went to the bathroom and left her phone on the table. I do not know what made me pick it up. Maybe I needed to see it one more time. Maybe I needed the pain to be real again, because dinner had started to feel almost normal, almost warm, and I could not afford warm. I opened her messages. I found his thread, and there, sent that morning, was a message from her to him. It said, "Tonight is the last night. I am going to end it. With him, I mean. I promise. With him, I mean." I read it 4 times. Then I put her phone down, finished my wine, and smiled at her when she came back to the table. We said goodnight in the parking lot. She hugged me and held on a little longer than usual. I let her. I watched her drive away. Then I walked back to the restaurant, sat at the bar, and ordered a whiskey I did not drink. I do not know how long I sat there. Long enough for the place to thin out. Long enough for everything to go quiet inside me again. She never made it home. They found her car at the bottom of Harrow Bridge at 11:40 that night. The road was wet. There were no skid marks. The case was ruled an accident within 48 hours. A tragedy, the detective said. These wet autumn roads. I stood at her funeral in the front row and accepted every hug and every sorry and every "she was so wonderful." Her mother held my face in both hands and told me Nadia was lucky to have been loved by me. I nodded. I did not trust my voice. 2 weeks later, I was clearing out her things when I found a box at the back of the wardrobe. Inside was a folder, documents, a life insurance policy taken out 8 months ago. The beneficiary had been changed 4 months in. It was not me, it was him. I sat on the floor of our bedroom, holding that folder, and felt something shift in my chest. Not grief, not anger, something older and colder than both. I had spent 2 weeks believing I had destroyed my own life for nothing. I called the detective who handled her case. I told him about the folder. He went quiet in a way that professionals go quiet when something changes shape on them. They reopened the case the following Monday. Here is what they found. His alibi for that night had one gap, 40 minutes. The bridge was 6 minutes from where he claimed to be. Her phone, recovered from the water, showed a call to his number at 11:22, 18 minutes before she went over. They arrested him on a Thursday morning. I watched the news coverage from my kitchen with a cup of coffee going cold in my hand. The reporter called it a shocking betrayal, a love triangle turned deadly. She used the word tragic 4 times in 90 seconds. Nobody mentioned the text I sent from Nadia's phone that night. The "I love you" she never wrote. The alibi I built for myself out of 3 words and a timestamp. Nobody asked why I had her phone, and I never told them. If you made it this far into the darkness with me, you belong here. Subscribe to Mr. A Stories, turn on the bell, and leave a comment telling me whether you think he deserved what happened. I read every single one. I will see you next time. Sleep well if you can.